2, 1. Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm here reacting to Godzilla vs. Kong 2020 Battle Face Off. Okay, it's from Goji Center. Let's just get started right now.
What will happen when Godzilla and Kong go head-to-head? In this video, we will go down to the hard stats and compare these two monsters to have a better idea of who has a higher chance of being the ultimate winner. We will explore intelligence, strength, agility, psychology, and much more that could determine the outcome of this epic battle. So make sure to stick with us to the very end as we put Godzilla and Kong to the test to determine who could be the next king of the monsters. Intelligence. This is a sensitive topic. Godzilla and Kong have both given us evidence of higher than normal levels of intelligence, at least when compared to other extant creatures. There are some clues that we can gather to determine who has the edge when it comes to battle intelligence. Over the course of many years, Godzilla has acquired enough battle experience to effectively counter any incoming attack with its well-defined arsenal of weapons. This is thanks to Godzilla's advanced capability of picking up on enemy attack patterns. In 2014, we see that after being flanked many times by the male Muto, Godzilla uses a tail swipe maneuver against it, sending him crashing into a building. In 2019, we see that Godzilla figured out how to more effectively fight Ghidorah and determine the appropriate time and place to attack. While not having exactly as much experience as Godzilla, Kong displays a different type of intelligence. In the natural world, we see that animals that make the use of tools are normally creatures with higher brain-to-body ratios. Similarly, Kong uses both terrain and tools to accomplish complex tasks. While you could argue that Godzilla doesn't necessarily need to use tools, it does take some amount of intelligence to learn to effectively use handheld weaponry. If we place both Godzilla's and Kong's skulls side by side, we could probably get a better idea of their levels of intelligence. We see that according to how their skulls are shaped, the brain-to-body size ratio seems to significantly favor Kong. And since brain-to-body ratio is a relatively fair indicator of intelligence, it's safe to say that Kong has a slight advantage over Godzilla, at least in overall intelligence. But in the battlefield, Godzilla has an advantage over Kong in combat tactics. Therefore, in this category, both Godzilla and Kong come equal in battlefield critical thinking and intelligence.
A P-brain wins too.
Intimidation.
Intimidation display.
This scene gives us a better idea of how Godzilla uses its dorsal plates to act as an intimidation display to other titans. This display is usually followed by an extremely loud roar that could shatter smaller creatures. Now, in this round, we will also take into account the fact that Godzilla has never taken a step backward when faced with an opponent. Even after losing a fight, Godzilla will always fall back to battle position. A creature acting like this will inflict morale shocks to even the strongest of titans. In the real world, gorillas use chest pounding as an act of intimidation towards other hostile creatures. Similarly, Kong would use this same method to try to intimidate any other titans, including Godzilla. But taking into account that Godzilla has faced more intimidating displays in the past, it is very likely that some mere chest pounding won't make Godzilla think twice before attacking. Even though both titans are intimidating, Godzilla takes the edge for being less likely to be fearful of the opponent while displaying slightly more intimidating behavior himself. Aggressiveness. By looking at the footage of how Godzilla kills its opponents, it's evident that Godzilla was hardwired to display raw brutality. These execution-style finishers could imply that Godzilla used these deceased titans as an example to other titans who dared challenge his status as king. Godzilla's style of combat is to inflict, but also be able to soak in tremendous amounts of damage. This style of fighting can be compared to a berserker, an ancient and extremely violent warrior class known for inflicting huge morale shocks to opposing troops while being able to withstand tons of damage himself. While Godzilla's combat style is synonymous with brute force, Kong seems to take a more strategic approach to combat. When seeing how Kong took on Rbx in 1973, we can conclude that Kong fights with more finesse, unlike Godzilla, who would grab and break the closest body part to him. Aggressiveness is also a psychological factor that would impact morale, and given that Kong does not fight with the aggressive approach as his opponent, Godzilla takes the edge on aggressiveness in this round. A more controlled approach to combat, however, might give Kong the edge in another category. Fight effectiveness. No Titan anatomy is complete without a menacing jaw full of teeth. In this case, however, we are determining who has the most effective bite against the opposing Titan. Bite force is typically influenced by the geometry of the skull and size of the jaw closing muscles. By taking a look at the relative size and skull geometry, it is likely that the muscular and square shape of Godzilla's skull could inflict a stronger bite than Kong's. But Kong's bite force should not be underestimated. Gorillas have one of the strongest bite forces in the animal kingdom, with some specimens capable of reaching 1,300 pounds per square inch. Just because one Titan has the stronger bite does not mean that it's the most effective. Kong has canine teeth that appear to be much longer than any of Godzilla's teeth. This means that even if Kong has a slightly weaker bite, its force will be concentrated in the smaller surface area at the tip of his sharp canines, which makes him more likely to be able to pierce an opponent's hide with ease. Although Godzilla has a stronger bite, Kong levels the stats with more bite pressure coming from his canines. Therefore, for this round, both Godzilla and Kong stand equal in bite effectiveness. Arm strength. Both Godzilla and Kong have different fighting styles, which are aided by different parts of their corporal build. The use of forearms can vary between the Titans. Godzilla's arms are used to block, parry, and even hold an opponent in place while he uses its strong jaws as a main weapon. These arms were even used to stop a 141,000-ton Titan dead on its tracks. Although small in comparison to its body, these arms are by no means useless. Kong, on the other hand, uses them as its main weapon of choice. As discussed earlier, Kong fights with more finesse than its opponent. Similar to a wrestler, Kong uses his arms to hold back an oncoming attacker and for destructive punches. In the real world, gorillas are pound for pound the fourth strongest animal in the world, capable of carrying up to 10 times their own body weight. This is due to the massive amounts of muscle concentrations in the upper torso and arms. Knowing this, it's likely that Kong could be able to lift Godzilla while being only a fraction of his opponent's weight. So who has the strongest arm strength? If we compare both arms side to side, we see that Kong's arms are significantly larger than Godzilla's. And by applying our recently acquired knowledge about gorillas, Kong takes the edge when it comes to superior arm strength in this battle. Battle dexterity. We are now about to discuss one of the most underestimated attributes that you can have in battle. This attribute is dexterity. Before we begin this section, take a moment to appreciate that you, a human being, are the only specimen on Earth that can effectively throw something, aim, and hit the target. Maybe. Godzilla, although we have seen that he does use his hands for combat, he does not necessarily use them to throw things. Apart from understanding how to use local objects as weapons, Kong seems to be able to wield objects with outstanding precision. No other Titan in the Monsterverse has been seen spearing a moving target with a palm tree or using a propeller as a ball and chain. This is without mentioning the fact that Kong can even craft his own weapons. It's imperative to note that these are supposed to be exclusively human abilities, but for some unknown reason can be found within the Kong species. In the coming battle, Kong holds the edge for battle dexterity, an ability that is hard to master, even for most humans. Leg strength. We are now moving down to the source of stability. By looking closely at images of Godzilla, we see that his legs are built to withstand an enormous amount of weight. In the graphic novel Godzilla Aftershock, we see that Godzilla was able to carry Titanus Jinshinmushi on his back, a titan that weighed 50% more than Godzilla. Apart from being able to carry thousands of additional tons in weight, these legs can inflict lethal amounts of pressure on a victim. If Kong finds himself unlucky enough to be under Godzilla's foot, he will most likely suffer the same fate as Titanus Jinshinmushi and Ghidorah, who were both literally stomped by Godzilla. Kong, on the other hand, might not have had the same damaging power as Godzilla, but his legs could still carry almost the same weight. Remember that this Titan will most likely be capable of carrying Godzilla, thanks to its impressive muscular build. In conclusion, although both these Titans can carry massive amounts of weight, Godzilla...
I had to pause the video because my baby sister was crying from something. Anyways, let's get started then.
In conclusion, although both these Titans can carry massive amounts of weight, Godzilla uses them as a weapon and lethal finisher to kill off Titans, giving him the edge on leg strength. Agility. Both Godzilla and Kong have proven to be agile combatants against any opponent. Godzilla's massive size allows him to charge at an opposing Titan with tremendous amounts of force. This amount of impact force, however, comes at a price. A massive Titan such as Godzilla relies on a massive tail to act as a counterweight when changing directions. If an opponent changes lanes on Godzilla's line of attack, Godzilla would most likely struggle to change direction quickly. Because Kong is most likely lighter than Godzilla, he does not require a tail to aid in change of direction. Unlike his opponent, he is capable of leaping on or from high places, bringing a new...
I had to do something important again.
Not require a tail to aid in change of direction. Unlike his opponent, he is capable of leaping on or from high places, bringing a new axis to the battlefield. This will serve to Kong's advantage when facing Godzilla's most lethal weapon. In this round, the edge goes to Kong for being built to be more agile than his bulky opponent Godzilla. But is Kong faster? Speed. The film Godzilla King of the Monsters provides us with a perfect shot of Godzilla's top speed on land. By analyzing this footage, we see that Godzilla can run to speeds of up to 350 miles per hour. How does this compare to Kong? We do know that Kong is significantly more agile than Godzilla on land because of its presumed lower weight. Given that this creature has a more human-like build, we can assume that it's possible that Kong might reach higher running speeds than Godzilla, at least on land. But let's not forget that Godzilla can also swim. The fact that Godzilla can move faster than Kong on water evens out Godzilla's slight disadvantage on land, making this another draw in battle attributes. The next question to come to mind, however, is could terrain work in favor of any of these Titans? Terrain compatibility. In the upcoming Godzilla vs. Kong film, we will see these Titans battle in many different types of terrain. So far, it has been confirmed that Kong is acquainted with two totally different biomes, Skull Island and the Hollow Earth. Skull Island is full of rocky structures and mountains that are just as tall as modern buildings. So it is possible that these natural structures could benefit him when facing Godzilla in an urban location. Godzilla, on the other hand, has fought other Titans in all types of settings, such as glaciers, cityscapes, and even oceans. And by knowing its superior fighting capability undersea, it is likely that Godzilla will exploit this watery arena and use it against Kong. Because he has experience fighting in more diverse settings, including under the ocean, Godzilla takes the edge when it comes to terrain compatibility. We are now getting to the interesting part. Special abilities. In the Monsterverse, a special ability can be defined as a biological attribute or weapon that gives a Titan a significant edge over an opponent. Which Titan has the most widely known special ability? That's right, Godzilla. His atomic breath is a radioactive mixture of explosive superheated death, which he uses to knock back other Titans while inflicting serious damage. Apart from his atomic breath, Godzilla also possesses a last resort ability known as a nuclear pulse. In the 2019 film, we see that Godzilla reached its thermonuclear state thanks to Mothra's sacrifice, but the pulse itself was not totally dependent on Mothra. How? If we look back at Godzilla Aftershock, we see that Godzilla used this same ability on Muto Prime with devastating effects. That is, with much less damage than it did in 2019. The best thing Kong can do in this situation is find a place to hide. Godzilla. No kaiju fight analysis can be completed without an X factor. Godzilla has shown time and time again that his species can prevail even in the face of adversity. The fact that there are other titans hardwired to kill Godzilla species is enough to state that Godzilla is a battle-hardened creature who has not shown fear against any titan. For Godzilla, it has always been about fight or die. While growing to adulthood, Kong managed to survive in close proximity to hyper-aggressive creatures that wiped out his own kind. It is possible that at times Kong would have acknowledged when the odds were not in his favor and retreat to fight another day. For Kong, it has always been about survival. It is time to reveal which of these two titans is more likely to win based on hard stats. Kong wins the edge on arm strength, dexterity, and agility. Godzilla takes the edge on intimidation, aggressiveness, leg strength, terrain compatibility, and special biological power-ups. Both of these titans, however, are neck and neck when it comes to intelligence, fight effectiveness, and overall speed. By compiling all of our results, we see that Godzilla has a higher chance of defeating Kong in a 1-versus-1 battle. Although Kong is slightly more agile, Godzilla is simply too difficult to bring down without the use of any special abilities. Knowing this, if for whatever reason Godzilla did not have its special abilities, it is likely that he could have succumbed to Kong on land. Another scenario to take in mind is if this battle took place close to a large body of water. Godzilla would have taken advantage of this situation.
The winner is Kong, and this laptop's getting laggy, so I have to end the video right now. Thanks for
And
watching.
defeated Kong even without the